perfect timing. Welcome to the after show, Tank. How you doing today?
Happening? Good. How are you?
You got the little snuffle going on. Anybody else coming on with you to talk to?
I
invited a few people.
No, I invited a few people. I'm just waiting to hear back.
So let's get into some good news. First of all, our friend and our brother, Robert Poss. Did you see what happened on his page today?
I did see what happened.
What was that announcement he posted?
He is the senior staff photographer for Maxim Slovakia magazine.
Maxim magazine. All right, that's we're old heads. So we've seen Maxim. We know that it's full of great stories and articles, and pictures of very beautiful models, and it helps them aspire to do other things. And to me, that could not be do we call him Sir Robert Poss now? I don't know what we call him.
You could call me Lord Tank. I do know that.
Okay, Lord Tank will work.
Because I am a property owner in Ireland.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy. How did that happen?
It's been a long time ago. Wife and I decided to make an investment and, bought some property there, and through all that process, when you own property, you get the honorary title of Lord and Lady.
Oh, well.
So now my wife can just yell, "Oh, Lord."
Your lordship, you.
Yeah.
Well, we're only doing this live tonight for a couple of things. It's one of these times that we're all going through it. There's no ups or downs. You got a big event tomorrow, and I just wanted to have you come on. Hopefully the guys will jump in for a few, have a couple of laughs. Earlier today, we did the show with Shady. He is busy editing that up. I think we are releasing a new show tomorrow on our Throwback Thursday with MJ. Give us a little insider on what's been going on in the music industry, radio industry. What time do you what's on your mindset right now? How you feeling? You holding tough there?
Yeah, I'm holding tough. Positive thoughts. I got a little bit of anxiety creeping in on me, but I got I got nothing but positive thoughts for sure. So,
well, you got the North of the Dirt Club, okay, yep. Which will eventually be a full-time charity, and God has kept you here like me for more than a minute. You were in a very bad accident almost 2 years ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, February 2019.
And you coded not once but twice, and Cowboy, kept you here, and I think God had a little something to do with that too. So there's thanks in every day, right? No matter what, we move through, we push through, and God willing, we stay north of the dirt for as long as we possibly can. So your lordship, Sir Tank of the Punisher President, Southwest Florida chapter, SoFlo edition of the Punishers, which is a law enforcement motorcycle club. We got some news today from your man, the Machine Gun Preacher. Is that correct? A little bit?
Yeah. I actually reached out to Kevin. I'm waiting for him to respond to see if he can jump on here. But we are locking in the dates at the end of February. We're trying to set Sam up with venues from Tampa to Port Charlotte, Fort Myers to Naples, and over to Miami. And he'll just make a circle back to Daytona for Bike Week.
Gotcha.
So,
and we're going to be doing a charity run with them for the Angels of East Africa. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And it's going to be basically from Collier County to maybe Six Bends or Rockstar or some type of location where we can have a big open air event where Sam can do some book signings. Maybe have a couple bands, try to make it something where it's entertaining for all, good family friendly event. And he doesn't come to Florida often, does he?
Well, he comes to Florida for Bike Week in Daytona as often as he can. And what a lot of people don't realize with Sam is Sam lived in Apopka for a while. and the Orlando area. So, he still has some ties here and some friends here, and tries to visit as often as he can.
So, not only does he live in Africa, but he has this charity, Angels. One more time, I messed it up late at night. Angels.
Angels of East Africa.
And you can also go to machinegunpreacher.org. Gerard Butler did a movie on him in 2011, true real life story about how he turned his life around, went to East Africa, started an orphanage where no one would godly do so in the middle of Comey's civil war, and has been there for 26 years. Now that is incredible. I mean, because he's been in a war zone. And you told me, and when we talked to Sam on the show, you said Sam said that he was going to be going back to Africa and rescuing 1,000 children, right? 1,000.
Yeah, Sam went back into the bush to start his mission, I believe, on Monday. Maybe last Monday, and
now, I think we talked about that, but I'm going to touch on it one more time. He is rescuing children that can potentially be taken in, turned into military children, correct? Like child soldiers is what they call them, right?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that wants to look up Machine Gun Preacher on YouTube can go in there and see, actual real-time video footage that Sam has used in the past to bring awareness. 9 and 10-year-olds running around with AK-47s and, being forced to fight. And it's just, regardless of what country you're in, that's wrong on all levels.
Yeah, and it's 2020, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
What else do we have to do as a planet to put a clamp down on this crap with children? And no child deserves that. No child, that leaves a lasting image on them. And Sam on his machinegunpreacher.org website has not one but two stories highlighted of some of the kids he's been working with. And it's been endless. He feeds 8,500 to up to 15,000 meals per day. He has charities in 3 different countries. He not only feeds the fish, but he teaches them how to fish, meaning he trains them in technical schools. He, if they're smart and they want to go to higher college, he's putting them through college. Like, the man is a walking saint. I don't care who you are. I would put that man against anybody 7 days a week and twice on Sunday when it comes to his charity work and his giving as a human being. For 26 years, the man, you showed me a picture of his house in Africa, right? And it wasn't a mansion. And
no.
Hell, it wasn't even painted.
I don't know what it's made out of. I don't know that it can be painted. The thing is it's, it's really just so humbling to see what is going on in Sam's life and how much he's changed and how little I don't want to say how little reward he's gotten, because that's definitely the wrong
let's say recognition from the national audience. Let's say that, because the man has to come around every year. He goes and he tours. He literally speaks anywhere that will have him, and he draws huge crowds. And he's not so much preaching to them. He's sharing his message, what he does. He walks the walk. If you are curious and you want to know who in the hell we're talking about, if you don't know The Machine Gun Preacher, there's a movie out starring Gerard Butler, ladies, who is a very good actor who did an amazing job portraying what Sam went through. Now, we also know that it's not always accurate in what they portray in Hollywood, but it's pretty damn close to explaining his story, what changed him, and some of the things he's gone through in East Africa, battling a person like Comey, battling to save children's lives that are orphans. I mean, it's just incredible calling. And we're going to, God willing, me and you, north of the dirt, are going to go to Africa next year, and hopefully we can do some good and help some lives over there. And I got to think a group of Punishers are coming with us. Is that accurate and fair and sane?
That is very accurate. My goal is to find enough sponsorship for my entire chapter along with spouses or significant others to go with, and go over and volunteer as hard as we can, for as long as we can, a couple weeks to a few weeks, and we won't make the difference that Sam made, but we'll make a difference in the short time that we're there for sure.
And ideally, hold on here, I'm gonna fix this. Here we go again. Oh, not me. I don't want to be me. Hold on. Not that one. Oh, we'll just do this for a minute. Ideally, what we'll accomplish is giving Sam some backup. We couldn't, if we went there for 26 years, we couldn't accomplish what Sam Childers has accomplished. But we sure as hell can keep awareness in the States. I'm sure the Punishers will be more than glad to help out in the long term. Every year maybe we do an event. Shocker, welcome aboard tonight. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Looking good. I can't rock that bald look. Like I look terrible bald, so I just have to rock the hat and go with that. So it isn't like, we're trying to get anybody's attention and we're asking for some notoriety. We're just trying to help a brother out who has been walking the walk for so many years that, it's about time some other brothers in America and sisters say, you know what can I do to help a machine gun preacher? What can I do to help out our children in Africa? And what better calling could you do to just make a simple donation? And in the end of February, if you ride, you have an opportunity to donate to be a part of this ride. Is that accurate in saying?
That is correct.
What's the goal for the donation to be a part of the ride?
The donation to be part of the ride is going to be $20 for an entry fee for the ride. Our plan is that Sam's going to ride with us. He'll be leading the pack. It'll all be escorted, and we'll end up at our final destination with vendors and some food trucks, and and we'll also have some food there that's more on the healthy lifestyle. There's one food truck that comes to mind, is Organically Twisted, all organic.
Well, our trainer's going to be there, and yes. I'm sure he's going to have some buddies there too. So we'll make this a really, really special event for everybody, and hopefully we'll raise a shit ton of money for Sam and his charity. And these locations that we're talking about in Tampa, in Miami, and once you get to Daytona, reach out to Tank, reach out to me, reach out to Melanie Kopko. We're going to be using a lot of radio. We're going to be using a lot of PSAs. It is a 5013C charity. So you're only going to be helping an incredible patriot to our country, Sam Childers. And, Sam let Tank, you told me not to say anything, but he put it out there. So it's already on the podcast. So we can kind of let the cat out a little bit. They are filming Sam's sequel.
Yes.
Okay. And he has announced that. They were going to shoot it in 2020, but, COVID had other plans for all of us. So they're going to be shooting it next year. So not only can you help support a man who has done a lot, but you can get a chance to see him before the sequel comes out and, say a little thank you to our brother. And he's an incredible, humble human being. Having him on that interview, well, I was smiling nonstop, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah. You were smiling as soon as he signed on. And the reaction is more than what I had hoped that it would be. And it was definitely worth, getting him to come on just to see it was like a 5-year-old lighting up, at seeing Santa Claus, in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve. So,
well, do you know why I really, shocker. I'm sorry. I'm not like giving you any love at the moment, but we'll get to you. Okay. Do you know why I got so excited about it? Right. You understand what it meant to me, why it meant it to me. Do you understand why, Tank?
Do I understand why it meant so much to you?
Yeah. Your perspective of
it. I think it was, because, obviously anybody that knows Sam's story or has seen the movie or the documentaries, or even talked to Sam, Sam wasn't a good guy at one point in his life. And, but there was a changing point in his life that God intervened. And from the time that he allowed God to intervene, he made this immediate transition and transformation that just affected millions and millions of people. And I think you're on that same path. I think you've gotten to a point where you're making your way through the levels of Christianity and trying to spread the word for as many things, not only your charity, which you rarely hear about. It's, everybody else is getting that out there. And then, like, when the time comes up where, Shocker's picture comes in blurry, we need to point that out to them. And
oh, that spotlight. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Shocker. I thought we were going to fix that. What happened, man?
I'm using the wife's laptop, so I thought I'd try something better. Last time it was my cell phone.
Well, apparently the laptop is 10 years old. You're an electrician. Come on, man. We can figure this out. Let's put this guy on main. Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head. For me, it was more of a guy who went through it, who I wouldn't say was a bad guy. I would say, like what you say, he made a lot of poor decisions in his life and wasn't living the life that he knew he should be living. And
Agreed.
when he had the opportunity to make that full shift, he did with both feet in and didn't care how hot the fire got.
No.
Right. And to me, that is what impresses me about Sam Childers. He walks the walk. Very rarely does he really need to do the talk, because he lets the walking do the talking for him. But put him in front of a group of people and watch the man go. And that's what I respect on my end. Like, I know if I can get in front of a group of people with the right message, I can help change people's lives. And I'm humbled that you were able to connect me with him, because to me, that's what the show is about, helping change lives. Doesn't mean I'm going to say, let me repair or say you're clear, because people reach out to me like I have some kind of power to make a prayer up for them and change their life. I humbly say, sure, I will, but I'm not God. I'm just a messenger. I just have a basic message, and I'm trying to help. My goal is to keep people alive above the dirt, and hopefully our actions of what we do, helping other charities, doing special events, will give the gift of giving to other people, because you can't get a better calling to giving. You've said this, and he said this, and his manager, and it's all documented. He said he went through about 33, maybe $40 million through his hands. And what is his average bank account, Tank?
Probably $3,000.
Now, that's a bad business plan. Just like Derek Newborn, I said it's a bad business plan. I'm just talking business, but it's true.
Yeah.
He is that big of a heart that he don't care about the money. I don't care about money at all either anymore. All I want to do is watch human beings get out of bad situations.
Well, do you know, Dan, the house that he built, and I don't know if I explained it to you, but the house that he just built that in Africa, he lives in Africa full time now, but he lives on the second floor. Him and his wife live on the second floor of this home, and they left the first floor vacant in case anybody else needs a home to stay in. And and it's not, it's certainly not any kind of home that you would see in Naples, or Cape Coral or Fort Myers. It's, it's bare knuckles, and
well, I would proudly stay in the second wherever with him, because whatever he's doing, he need a little bit of that to rub off on me and keep me going. Because when I have my bad days, which I do pretty regularly these days because I'm getting treatments, it helps me. Watching others do the leading sometimes helps, because I can't lead like I used to until I get better, and getting my immune system back is the number one priority for me. After that, it's all hands on deck. Let me get my strength back and let us stay north of the dirt and watch us move. And when you say I have a group behind my back, you told me earlier, I've got a group of guys that I am proud to call brothers. And who would that be, Tank?
The Punishers.
Now, I am not a biker. Okay, guys?
Yep.
I'm a civilian. If you want to use the word hang around, whatever, call me whatever you want, but I'm a person who respects men that have honor, that do lots of charity work, that live by a code, a brotherhood, that would watch your 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sunday. That's pretty accurate and saying, right?
That's very accurate. And, I think that, there's been times in all of our lives, and I've gotten to know Shocker well enough that, I think he would agree that, coming into this brotherhood, just like any sibling or any family unit, not everybody's going to get along all the time. We're going to have our opinions, our disagreements. But at the end of the day, when the dust settles, we're all bleeding white and black.
And Shocker, get a piece of cloth. Get a cloth and see if you can rub your camera. And that might be it, actually.
How's that?
While you're doing that, can I point something out real quick, Steve?
Go ahead,
or Dan. Yeah, I just called you Sam. I just wanted to point out, touching base on you mentioned Machine Gun Preacher 2. I believe the title of that movie is they're looking at being called The Last Rescue. And the last rescue, and at least in my opinion, the way I read it, doesn't mean the last one he'll do. It means probably the last one that he did. And I know the screenplay has already been submitted to and registered with the Screen Actors Guild. And I can tell you that the spot for playing Sam has been in such demand. Russell Crowe, Josh Brolin, of course, Gerard Butler, just so many different people. Hugh Jackman, I believe. There's just a lot of people that are being considered for that role. And, Hollywood has all the say over that. I certainly hope that Jerry gets to jump in there and do the sequel. I just think it would be great. And I know that Jerry and Sam are really good friends. And I think Jerry has a lot of things that he took away from doing Machine Gun Preacher that he has enabled in his own life, and giving back and doing good for children anywhere. And
now you all the ladies, if you put that vote in, would probably be between Butler and Hugh Jackman. And all the names you mentioned are incredible names. I'm a fan of every single one of them, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Gerard Butler too, because that's how I fell in love with Sam. You know what I mean? Like watching that movie and watching how well he played Sam's role and convincing and really got into it. I think he'd be an idiot not to give back to him, but that's not for us to say either. The Machine Gun Preacher is going to be in Naples, Florida, people. Yep. Naples, Florida, 2021. I know we're going through a lot. I know we are miserable. Believe me, Tank got my information from me today, and I ain't going through a good time myself. Fighting for my health. I am a COVID-19 long hauler. Can you attest to that, Tank? Am I making any of that up?
You're not even scratching the surface, brother. I've seen you. I don't think I've ever seen you at your worst, but I've seen you decline in front of my eyes, and it's not a good sight.
And I had an accident last July. And I say this, some people get put back when I say I was killed in an accident. The difference is my life force in my body left my body. 3 to 5 seconds, who knows? Might have been a little longer, might have been a half second, who knows? But that amount of time that I was gone, like yourself, who've been coded, I was at complete peace. I didn't feel a damn thing. And then something said, it's not your time. And boom, I was back. So when I talk about Christianity, when I talk about God, I say, listen, I didn't find God. God found me. And I mean that. And if you look at my timeline from the accident on my Facebook, you'll see my attitude was 100% positive. I was fighting. My people, my rehab will tell you there was no stopping me, but I was suffering from a severe brain injury, a TBI documented, PTSD, post-concussion syndrome, on top of learning how to walk and talk again, on top of learning how to, fend for myself, because for 2 months, 3 months, well, for the whole time I was by myself, and for 2 months I couldn't get up and down my own stairs. I had to have Meals on Wheels deliver food to me. Like, there was no shame in what was going on in my life. Now, I got into a neurologist. His name is Dr. Daniel Casasilla, and he should not have his medical license. He should not even touch his hands on a single patient, who documented me with all this, injected me in the neck once, drugged me up for 2 months, 3 months. I was explaining to him all the underlying issues I was going through. My employers from work came to me one day and said, our boss left the company. Can you please come back to do anything? And I said, sure, I'll try. So I go to Casasilla and I said, listen, I'm still, everything's wrong, but they're asking me to come back. Can you put me on maybe light duty to see if I can help them out? You know what he did to me, Tank?
No.
He fully released me. He gave me a 0 impairment rating, and they kicked me out of the workman's comp system. Now I have an attorney, Berlin law firm. We were fighting for this. I was fighting to change him anyways because he was the worst doctor. When I told him, I said, hey, Dr. Casasilla, the first thing is I'm having severe fatigue. Like, I can barely keep my eyes open. And you know what he told me, Tank?
You're tired.
He said, can I tell you something? I said, okay. He goes, we're all tired. This is my neurologist. That was my first time where I screamed at him for 20 minutes, and I damn near wanted to kill him. The second time, the very first time I told him that I was having memory issues, because it's in my statements up and down since the day I was in the hospital. I can't remember. I live like Groundhog Day. Literally, I wake up and I don't remember the day before, and I think it's pre-accident, and then I move around and realize I'm sick and everything else. I told him I had memory issues, and I wanted help, and I wanted counseling. You know what he told me on that one?
It's all in your head.
There's a book called The Memory Book. Go buy it. Now, I told him over and over, I can't concentrate, I can't read, I can't comprehend, and he tells me to go buy the memory book. This is our good old workman's comp system. So for the last 5 months, Tank, I've not been getting paid because of this doctor who should be in hell. I've been telling them over and over, not only do I have all these underlying issues on top of the PTSD and all that good stuff, gone to mediation twice. Hey, sweetie, gone to mediation twice. And we finally, the day before our court date, which was in October, they assigned me a new doctor. But I can't get in until the beginning of next month. So until then, they stopped paying me. And I've gotten behind on my bills like everybody else. I had to file for unemployment because Advanced Solar let me go, stopped paying me. They owe me $4 or $5 grand in back commissions. And, there's a thing called the Disabilities Act of 1974, and I got a feeling that COVID-19 patients are going to be falling under that are confirmed, that have been completely sidelined. So I couldn't pay my rent. And guess what? I got a paper for eviction. And I told the landlord what was going on. I said, listen, I'm getting into a doctor. I've been seeing Dr. Roselle, who treats me twice a week, who shows all this stuff. And she evicted me. So now I got a paper in my hand that I just got back after my treatment today. I showed you earlier. It says I got 24 hours, literally 24 hours to leave my house. Even though I'm a documented long hauler, I just in the hospital. Hell, I think I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
I was literally just in the doctor's hospital. Doctor's hospital. On the 1st. Chest pains, kidney failure, all kinds of good stuff. I sent that to a judge, and the judge basically said, denied for whatever reason, but it wasn't in the jurisdiction of the court. And then today I got these papers saying I have 24 hours to move out of my house. Now, I'm not stressing you about it. I'm not stressing myself about it. I'm going to, call people in the morning. I don't know what else I can really do. My bank account is negative $25. I have this podcast that gets out there, but it costs a lot of money for these things to go. It is what it is. I'm not upset with the system. It's a broken system. I believe in God. That's why I know I'll get through this. I have brothers and sisters all over, and we will prevail. As somebody who's been around me, all I ask is a witness. I bet you I can bring you in front of a judge with me any day of the week, and you would stand up and say, what I'm saying is absolutely the truth.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that the workman's comp in our state is so broken. It's a shame that someone who, like me, who worked their ass off his entire life at 49 years old, is broke and destitute and is about to be thrown on the street for something I did not do while I was working, and got a disease while I was in the hospital that I didn't ask for. And as an American patriot, I'm fighting for my own life for a situation that it is what it is. So I ask, go ahead.
I tell you, the biggest thing I've learned being in this area is usually election year is the best time to reach out to a lot of politicians to get them involved, to say, hey, for human beings, things have their limits. So I know Senator Marco Rubio, he's helped on a few things with my brothers going through something similar. And I'm sure we can probably at least make some phone calls to say, look, just time. Some people just need a little bit of time and they get back on their feet. Got to wait for those approvals. Got to, for people, it's just about money. And sometimes it's where's your heart at?
Yeah, because I've sent the lady all the information. I showed her my emails between the lawyers. I explained to her at the beginning of the month I'll be getting in front of another neurologist that will prove my issues, because we have the documentations, right? And then they will have to pay me, I think, 5 months of back pay. And I said, I never once told her I would not pay her. I just have not been paid. So what can I do?
Well, and that's what makes it tough. I know certain people right now that they really haven't bought and they're collecting unemployment. And when COVID went down, I was out of work for 2 months, even as an electrician sitting at home, because no one wanted anybody in their home. So sitting at home for 2 months, I had to scrape everything I could together to stay afloat until I could get back to work. And even then it was tough because I filed for unemployment and it was denied. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? The other people that really don't pay in, haven't really worked, are getting everything handed to them.
And the thing is, thank you for that reach out. Tomorrow, please help me out with a few phone calls. Mark Rubio, yes.
Oh yeah.
Dane Eagle, who is a Facebook friend. Hey, you're connected to the governor. Chris Kagan, there's people I know that could possibly help at least give us a little breathing room, because I'm literally getting treatments 5 days a week to beat off COVID-19. Not only that, I have a documented TBI, I have PTSD. It's all work-related. And it's a shame what they're trying to get away with by making me destitute, broke, destroyed my credit, my dignity. And the federal government, the CDC, issued an order for all long haulers or anybody who is COVID positive to not move them until the end of the year. So I'm just stunned that this federal guideline has been overruled by a judge for a long hauler in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, that's really kind of odd and strange for something like that to even take place, in my opinion. And I mean, is the landlord easygoing? Are they reasonable, or they're at their limits? They don't care. They want their money because they're probably hurting as well.
She it's not her. She's not the landlord. She is the property manager. And she's from Europe, and there's a whole different mindset over there. I mean, I've showed her my medical record. She doesn't care. I said, listen, I'll pay you late fees. I don't give a damn what it is. As soon as they give me my money, I'll give it to you. But it's the broken workman's comp system that, they use a doctor for pay, who even stated himself, the TBI and everything else, and then gave me a 0 impairment rating. 0. Like, if you ever talk to me for more than an hour, you'll see as I get tired, my memory's gone. I can't recall names. You see how I struggle in person. It's not like I'm just living the life. I literally have to live 24 hours at a time. And Tank, you have seen me face to face. Just for being out for 4 hours or 5 hours, how was I?
Done. You were done.
And I only went because I was invited, and I knew how important that was. And to me, it was therapy. Getting out and seeing men of honor, men who give back to the community, men who actually, have a brotherhood. I need that. That helps me. That's my therapy. Now, if I post stuff on Facebook, it's because I'm trying to show support and to help spread awareness of an organization that I feel is amazing. Or if I share a picture when I'm out at the beach, it's not because I'm out at the beach having a good time. It's because it's therapy. I'm told to go and do this stuff. Enough about me. Back to Shocker. We got to fix this high quality camera issue you have here. You look so pretty that the camera just can't keep you in focus.
No, it's probably my shiny head.
Now,
I need some shade.
I appreciate that. I didn't say this for anything on my own. I promise you. I did it because if I'm fighting like this as a long hauler, someone who's been fighting for his life for months now, they can do this to me. They can do this to anybody. And right now, the last thing we need is people who are sick on the streets or having to beg like a pauper because of circumstances that they did not create on themselves. I've not created a GoFundMe. I've not begged people for help this way. It's just not my nature. It's not because I know everyone's going through it. I know everyone's broke right now. I know, $5 during the holidays could be $500 to somebody. So I'm not asking anybody to bail me out. All I'm asking for is a fair shake in the court system to give me time to get this rectified. And I hope that we can get some connections going here and get this taken care of, because all I want to do is get healthy, Tank, like you. After you go in tomorrow, we're going to be checking on you daily. We're going to have our trainer, Robert. I don't need to worry about you in the rehab side of it. We're going to help on the lifestyle change side of it, getting you back efficiently, safely, and better than ever. Oh, look at that. He's gotten clear now. What happened there? You switched phones?
I moved. See, I'm not getting the shiny light.
No.
It's that magnetic personality.
So when we have you on, Tank, your brother. You're on anytime you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will talk and bring you updates. We don't want you to be stressed out. We only want love for you. Oh, look what he did. He messed something up.
I did. I messed it up again?
Yeah, I don't know what you did, But, this episode, the last two.
Go back in that room where you were taking a poop on the last show.
Yeah, much better. Now, in all seriousness, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, guys. I got 24 hours. I might need a little help. Even though I got a Maxim magazine superstar in our hands, they ain't no one got any money in their pockets right now. So I might need a little, moving assistance. Maybe we can drum up a few people. It'd be nice if it has to. Unfortunately, I pray that doesn't. But I know I don't want you to worry about this, Tank. I know the Cape Fear edition could help if I needed it, and because I'm in no condition to do anything.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you need us, we'll be there. We'll do what we can. Is there a way to? Sometimes it's tough to stop something that's rolling forward. So, is there a way to stop that from the order, to get the order changed or switched, or is it kind of past that point?
I don't know. I mean, it's been a 7-day process. I got a notice. I got my doctor who's been treating me, Dr. Roselle, to write a full detailed letter. I gave her a copy of I gave her the original of my release from the hospital stating I was a COVID-19 long hauler. And I wrote out the best letter I could under my circumstances explaining my situation. And the reply I got back was basically, this case is before the court without hearing pursuant to responsive pleading filed by defendant pro. The court does hereby order and adjudge that the motion for an extension of time to pay accrued rent and or surrender property is denied. This court has no jurisdiction to consider such request. Remedy lies with plaintiff. It should be noted that the court reviewed the correspondence in the file, and basically it's saying there's no evidence that the defendant has sought the protection of the CDC order to stay eviction. Well, I didn't know I had to fight for a CDC order. I thought, medical documents from the hospital stating I was a COVID-19 long hauler and knowing that the federal guidelines for the CDC stated no evictions until the end of the year for COVID-19 patients was sufficient enough. So there's something off with this. And she did say that this court has no jurisdiction to consider such request. So does that mean I didn't get my due precedence? What's that saying, Tank? Don't I have some type of right? Due process?
Yeah, the thing is landlord-tenant issues are civil. The only time that a law enforcement agency will get involved in that is when they're serving the papers or acting on order of the court. But so not a lot of law enforcement agencies are up on landlord tenant because they're just following the orders of the court. But what I recommended to you earlier is the same thing that Shocker recommended to you. And, and that being, get your politicians involved, get your state representative, get your congressman, get your senator, get them involved, because if it can put an interception on your situation and then in the future help other people that are in the same kind of situation, now you're bringing it to the front line. You're equipping yourself for the battle. So,
Shocker, can I get your help tomorrow?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I will call you if you do not call me. I know with everything going on in this world right now, they're even talking about closing things down again. So to turn around and to have this happen, especially right now, it's just very odd and strange. I mean, there might be an appeal or somebody we can at least talk to see what we can do to help you out on that end. I mean, it's crazy to have to uproot and move someone and put them in another place, and then on top of everything else, if there's another remedy, usually something can be done. So I'll definitely hit you up tomorrow, and we will get something rolling. I mean, doing something is better than doing nothing. And the perfect example is going back to Machine Gun Preachers. I was watching his documentary ever since Tank mentioned him, and with what he's done is crazy, but at the same time, where he's coming at from his heart. And when I was watching his documentary, if you can relate to that, and a lot of people have their soft spots and relate to a lot of different things. I mean, somebody goes down on their bike, I can relate to that. I went down on my bike. And everybody has that soft spot, and some people are willing to help, no problem. And that's what we need, especially now today's society. It's 2020. Where's everybody's hearts at?
Well, I guess people see me in a way like, oh, he looks fine. Like, they don't understand what goes on internally with this, the massive inflammation, the damage to the organs. It wasn't my fault. The doctor's fault wasn't their fault. They did not know what was going on at the time. So 8 months of this thing rocking and rolling inside of my body did a lot of damage on top of the brain damage from the injury. They know that it takes between a year and a half for a brain injury to recover with treatment. And they weren't even giving me treatment. So I'm not a victim in this. I'm a man of faith. I truly believe as a first level Christian, I'm still learning it that, God will work this out one way or the other. I know that I've got you guys as brothers to help through this, meaning if I had to crash in someone's house, I would. But ideally, I'm sick as hell and I need as much rest and treatment and recovery as I can get to boost my immune system. I do the show as therapy, just like this after show. This is therapy for all of us, like it or not. That anxiety that you had, it goes away. That laughing when we get to laugh, shots fired. Well, that's therapy. And that's therapy for whoever's watching us, wherever they're watching it. This isn't just on Facebook. This is on all of our social medias. This is on my YouTube channel. This is on the Hope for Humanity's channel, the Dan the Messenger's channel. We bring on different guests for a reason because we are trying to find solutions to problems. Unfortunately, my problem is not your problem. It's just one that's happening to me. It's happening to many Americans. There's millions. I think there's 6 million Americans that are possibly going to be evicted from their homes over the next 90 days. So I'm not that special. Like I was telling Tank earlier, we could be those kids in Africa. We could be possibly abducted and turned into a child soldier. We could be homeless, no food, malnutrition. So my ride is my ride. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm good with God, what he's got me. I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to have brothers and sisters, brothers like you guys, the Punishers, the Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, who I will happily ride with anytime I can, happily support anytime I can, happily say, yeah, that's my brothers. And this thing with Sam is personal to me. And when I say I'm going to help throw one hell of an event, I promise you on my life, on my parents' grave, I will give him one of the best receptions he's had in Florida, and Bike Week will look like the after party.
Good.
And I'm not even talking about just our one stop. Every stop that we book, I want to make sure Sam gets the turnout he deserves safely, the ability to share his message freely, the ability to move hearts like he's moved mine, yours, Shocker. Anybody he talks to, touches, you just have to be in awe of him, period, in his story.
But if Shocker touches you, you should call 911.
Yeah, hey, how is his electrical work, Tank?
It's incredible. I can't fire any shots at that. The guy knows what he's doing, and the thing is you look at how happy he is a lot of the time, and most people will be stressed about work. And I've always been under the impression that if you're happy with what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And and I can tell you, I've talked to this guy while he's been in a sweaty attic, and oh wow.
And it's tough.
You're gonna have to give me a minute.
I'll pick up where Tank's left off right there. It's tough if you ever get an extremely hot day and you go up in the attic and you're crawling around and you're doing stuff. It gets really, really hot.
Hold on, Amir. I'm trying to do something. There we go. No, did I tell you what I did before my accident? Shocker.
No. What'd you do?
I worked in the solar industry. I worked in it for 2 years before I had my accident. And so our guys would be in the attics, and I would go in there with them. I'm going, I don't know how the hell you guys do this. Can I get you a Gatorade? Because that's a special thing to do in Florida, get into a hot attic.
Oh yeah, I was down in Naples pulling the feed for a guy's barn that he put in, and it's one of them jobs I'll never forget. So I had to do a military crawl from one end of the house to the other, pulling a whole new 100 amp service from the main feed to going out to that. Then I had to back out because you can only go straight forward in. So then I had to do the military crawl backwards, which when you do that through installation is a whole nother game. And then when I got out of the attic, I literally collapsed, and the homeowner wanted me to jump in their pool, and I said, "No, I'm okay. I just need to catch my breath." And it's like sitting in a sauna, and then on top of it, put your clothes on and just sit there, and then maybe take some insulation and wrap it around you.
Yeah, and it gets, I mean, seriously, probably 110, 115 degrees easily in an attic in the summertime, with the humidity factor being almost 100%. It's got to be brutal.
Well, and I keep a temperature gauge in my vehicle just for that reason. So I took a look, and it was 145 degrees that day. And there's no air movement up there. When you're in someone's attic, there's no air movement.
No, and it can be dangerous. We've had guys pass out and whatnot, and so electrical work in Florida is a big deal. What your trade does, I'm gonna have you on the podcast, a one-on-one where we talk about your background, your upbringing, what you do, and what brought you down to Florida, and so we can properly introduce you to the audience that listens.
Well, and I think about a year ago, you and I were comparing scars at the event, at Whiskey's event, and I went down on my bike, and I
burn his lips.
There's got to be some sort of God out there that's protecting and watching, has a plan, because no one's seen someone wreck their bike like I did and literally get up and almost walk away. And it was difficult. It was testing, but I was in good spirits. Everybody was kind of surprised on how I was just smiling and happy. And I'm like, it's life. What are you going to do? I don't want to be sitting here miserable and upset and crying about it. And the other person turned out, they didn't have insurance. I didn't have uninsured motors covered. So I was kind of screwed, but I was just like, it happens. They throw a curveball at you, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with it.
How fast were you going on your bike?
I was only doing 25 miles an hour over in Miami. Lady pulled out in front of me, getting ready to pull in front of someone's front yard. Did a dead stop, and I literally veered into oncoming traffic, and thankfully they stopped. The right side of my body hit the truck. My right knee is what took a brunt of the force into the bumper, which then fractured my tibia straight through, and then they put in a metal plate with 7 screws. And I
got you beat on the screws, man. I got you beat.
But he went down on his bike.
I got a photo.
That's true. Well, I got ran off the highway, and I hit the steel barrier doing 70 head on, and God only knows why we're all here, boys. But apparently we got a lot more fighting to do, a lot more giving to do. And as long as I got a breath in me, if I can help one child, one kid, one person each day is my goal. One man up. If we can get 2 men up at a time, 2 men can make 4, 4 can make 8, and we can replicate the virus reverse. Oh, we'll share pictures. I can't see it because yours is so blurry. I just it looks like a line.
I can't help that. The kids are on the Wi-Fi.
He's got a picture of my ding dong.
Let's.
You don't want to look at that again. But I apologize for mid sentence on complimenting Shocker on his work. He's done all the electricity for our clubhouse. I refer him to people that I know, and if I wasn't confident in the fact that I know he's good at his job, and I know how demanding he is of excellence out of his work with everything that he does. I certainly wouldn't recommend him to friends or, people that are, that I'm affiliated with. So.
And honestly, when I got to that event Saturday and I got to meet, I don't know, maybe 60 people, let's say 50 people. I don't remember how many, but
there was probably 100 people there.
And, on both sides of the aisle, I'm going to hear the bullshit. I just know I'm going to hear. But what I seen and what I met was some of the country's best and brightest, prior service, CIA. Good God. I mean, just so many different people I met, and not one of them was boasting, bragging. When I say you guys are the badasses, they always say no. And I mean it in a very affectionate way, saying, that's badass. It's like in California, you go, hey, that's rad. Well, to me, that's just badass. When you put yourself in the front lines on EMS, you're dealing with, trauma, MIs. In Florida, it runs the gambit of what emergency medicine has to handle, what Leo has to handle. Go ahead.
Are you able to hear me? I'm having some technical.
No, we can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine.
No, Shocker, turn up your volume.
Shocker's not talking.
I don't hear him.
You don't hear him?
I don't hear him.
Well, yeah, it's probably because you're barely hanging on. I can see like a quarter of you right now.
He's got his chat roulette filter up.
What I mean is, when you meet true, genuine heroes in their own right, where they're putting their lives before others constantly, that's the respect I have for them. Vets, active service, Leo, firefighters, paramedics. It's just men of honor that truly have they're putting their lives before others constantly. That's the respect I have for them. That's what's that? Service. Leo, I hear somebody. Shocker. Men of honor. Here, what's this? Boop. Look at that. Yeah. So, I was humbled that you guys allow me into these type of deals, and I appreciate it. So let's get off of here. It's 8. It's 9.
Can I quickly just apologize, Dan?
I can see it.
This guy's name is John F.X. Morgan, and that's me with him at the beginning of the whole COVID thing. And this is why I got so emotional and had to step away for a minute. I met John. I met John when this whole COVID thing started, and he was homeless, and he explained to me that him and a couple of his friends had just walked to Naples from Sarasota. At that point, people were struggling to buy toilet paper, let alone food. And my mission every day was to make sure I fed somebody. And I would go to McDonald's every day for a lot of days, and I would buy as much as I could with $30, $40. And I stumbled across John and learned his story, and I handed him a hamburger, and he honestly thought that I did something to it, and asked what he had to do to get it. And I said, nothing. You just have to appreciate it and, say a prayer and be thankful for it. And he hadn't eaten at that point in probably 4 days. After that, I sat down in the dirt with John that day and ate a hamburger with him, and we talked for about an hour. And every morning after that, after I would check in and do what I needed to do, I would go grab him a small coffee, and I'd grab myself a small coffee, and I would go purposely looking for him because he's homeless, and we'd share a cup of coffee together, and we'd share some stories. And during all this time, I learned that during that time, I learned that he hadn't talked to his family in a couple of decades. And so I was able to find his sister. We sat there in that same dirt, and I was able to do a little research, and I found his sister Mary. in New Jersey, and we called Mary, and she thought it was a joke. And she thought that he was being arrested or we found him dead, just because of the lifestyle he had led. Unfortunately, we just lost John to COVID. And Mary reached out to me, and what my wife came in and handed me is a card. Do you mind if I read it real quick?
No, you go right ahead.
Dear Tom, now that we've come to the happy part, sending you a donation in loving memory of my brother, John Morgan. He often told me how much it mattered for him, what you did for him, and I hope this will help others who need their care. She sent me a check for $250 made out to the Punishers, Southwest Florida chapter. This will be donated to St. Matthew's house in Naples. That's where that's who ultimately gave John a place to stay until he died. But it says the picture on John's prayer card is referred to as Our Lady of the Streets, and I'm certain that he is watching over you and your organization as you work to help the families that you do. Thank you again and everything you did for Johnny Boy, and Johnny Boy is what I called him. He's finally at peace, and couldn't ring truer. And if I've done anything in the 30 years of law enforcement that I've done, this was the reward I walk away with.
And Tank, this is why you guys are heroes to me, not because you have a fancy jacket or you got the president title. I got two presidents. I salute, call you sir, whatever it is. I mean it. Once you understand what giving means and you get to see that if you could change one life for 1 minute, for 1 day, there's no better reward that you can ever have. I don't care if you've got $50 million in the bank account. To me, it means jack shit. When I say, what do you do? How are you helping? Are you part of the solution, not the problem? I mean that. I could walk into the president's office of any chapter of any organization and across the country. I'm not talking about yours in general. To me, my father raised me that you put your pants on one leg at a time, like the janitor of your organization or the president, and you treat them with the exact same respect. If you do not have a house or a dwelling, it does not make you lesser than. That is a modern technology thing that we have because we originally grew up in the wilderness, as groups, as clans, as people. And we're losing that, and that's why Hope Number 4 Humanity was created through the big guy May 10th of this year, before all the craziness started, was to help give hope and faith back to humanity. That's what our mission is. And it doesn't mean I've got a Bible in my hand and a shotgun in mine. I don't even have a Bible in my hand at the moment, and I couldn't read it if I wanted to. That's how messed up my brain is. But I sure as hell understand the essence of what a Christian is, thanks to a Sam Childers, thanks to a Machine Gun Preacher, thanks to some of the movies that the big guy helped me watch, to understand that a person of faith is not judging. A person of faith knows that you got to know how to let go and let God. And a person of faith understands that you have 24 hours. Tomorrow's not promised, and yesterday's already happened. It's today, right here, right now. What can we do to help our brothers and sisters? And that was amazing.
It's that dash, living for the dash.
I can't take credit for that. And I don't think you want credit either. I think
no.
And
in a society that lives on social media, I took that picture of John and I to send to his sister to prove to her, first of all, who I was, because I had my work shirt on, and to prove that John wasn't in trouble. And although we did this, I've never posted that picture on a social media platform, where all too often you see that where, there's got to be a picture involved in feeding somebody. That relationship that I created with John happened over a $1 hamburger. If 10 people did that tomorrow, that would be 10 lives that they changed for that day, for that moment. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we lost another brother to COVID.
Yeah.
My death count is more than my heart can handle sometimes. People reach out to me now from all over the world, and they are asking for my help in a way that I can't possibly do at the moment. But I know one day the charity Hope for Humanity will be big enough, have enough extensions to really make an impact on our local society, because I'm not worried about the global society. I'm worried about local. If we can't take care of our families and friends first, we can't take care of our societies that we live in, there's nothing nationally to worry about. The cracks in our foundation are wide open, and we are bleeding red, white, and blue right now in a country that needs to come together. When we talk about this tour, that's not me. I ain't got the money. I'm not rich. I sure as hell ain't getting rich from a show. I got no money coming in. I am doing it from the love of my heart to help my brothers and my sisters. And you guys know I ain't lying. You've seen me walk the walk, and you see how much I persist at being a pain in someone's ass to eventually get the notoriety out there that people need to understand. It's real. It's the media has talked out of both sides of their mouth to the point where no one trusts them. I guarantee you, our election was half 50-50 or whatever the damn numbers there may be. But I guarantee you probably 75% of America right now doesn't trust a damn word that comes out of these guys' mouth. And that's their own fault. That's no one's fault except them for talking so much that no one believes what they're saying. I got a problem. My own cousin doesn't believe that this was real. And now that he realizes it's real, doesn't believe that it can be deadly. Well, I've lost friends. You've lost friends. Hey, Shocker, have you lost anybody personally to COVID or know anybody who's been infected by COVID?
Well, I know there's a few people I know have been affected by it, and I just think it's so new that it's an unknown thing where, even my customers, I had a very, very good friend of mine that I lost, not because of COVID. Thankfully, it was just because of cancer. Cancer got him within 4 months, and, COVID could have been a portion or, sure it wasn't helping because it's just a very unknown thing, and it's a dangerous road we're in right now.
And I just what made this hit home so much tonight of all nights is my mother-in-law was just diagnosed with COVID, and she's in a nursing home. There's not a whole lot we can do for her. They're trying to take whatever precautions that are necessary, and fortunately for us, she's got a healthy respiratory system, and she doesn't really know what's going on, other than she don't feel good. And
I'm going to send you a treatment protocol packet to get to her doctor's stat. They know this without a doubt. I just had a expert on the show today. It has not been posted up. They know early treatment protocol is numero uno, especially with compromised immune systems. It's called the Math Plus protocol. You need to get it to her, get it to them to diagnose, if she's COVID positive. This is a known protocol. Early treatment, early treatment, early treatment. You will avoid being a long hauler, and you will avoid suffering. Now, a lot of people who have good, healthy immune systems are going to walk through this because there's over 30 strains that they know about. 30, capital 30. That's why you're having so many different signs and symptoms, and some people get it and they're and other people get it and it kicks their ass. It is a virus. Left untreated can cause severe inflammation. They know this. This is not hidden. It's in plenty of medical documentation. And that's why I keep making Wednesdays dedicated to long haulers, because I do not want to see another American like your friend pass away from this when they know there's drug cocktails out there that can put this thing not to bed, but at least keep it at bay from doing the damage that's done to me and other long haulers. That's what I advocate for. This is not the end of the world. This is not the rapture. This is a shift. We will never be the same as Americans for a long, long time, because we're doing business differently. People are so scared because they've been so disinformed or misinformed or purposely told improper medical information, there is a hibernation or an active contagion period between 2 to 4 weeks. They do know that. After that 4 weeks, you're not contagious anymore. It's in you. The virus gets into your sealed circulatory system. So I'm not a leper. I'm not walking around exposing people. I'm someone who's got like cancer. It's in there. This is what we have an issue with long haulers. I've had officers jump 20 feet away from me thinking I'm going to make them sick when I tell them a long hauler. It's because we don't understand. They beat us over the head saying this. And then second you hear about it, what's so new, guess what? It scares the shit out of you. And you don't want it. And I don't want any of my friends to have it. I'm doing everything in my power is to say early, best offense for this is a good defense. Vitamin D3, vitamin A, zinc. Those 3 things right there will change your life in a very short period of time, but you got to take it consistently. If your immune system is not, 40% of our country has a weakened immune system. So if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, underlying heart issues, hypertensive, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, all that good stuff weakens your immune system, an autoimmune disorder. And then the virus goes through and attacks your immune system. It weakens it. And then the secondary issues is what you have the problems from. It's not so much from the virus, it's what the little bastard does inside your system. So the faster you get early treatment, the faster that you know the protocols, the more lives we can save, and that's what I advocate for. And on today's show, we ran through the gambit. And I told them, you know what, after an hour, we got more than enough. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So each time we do an after episode, each time we do a podcast, I dedicate it to all long haulers. I dedicate it to anybody who's COVID positive. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I worked in the medical field many years ago, ATLS, ALS, and I worked for a drug company called Gentech Pharmaceutical that specialized in synthetic drugs, okay? So when they talk about what Trump got and everything else, and these Eli Lilly and Pfizer rushed vaccines that are at 94%, hey, listen, that's 6%. And from what I've seen back in from the studies, I say pump the brakes. Hold on here. American citizens have the right to choose what they take and don't take, and you do not mandate a vaccine that's not had plenty of evidence, data, and actual virologists and epidemiologists across the gambit agreeing that this works. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't vax. I'm not saying, hey, when one comes out, don't take it. I'm saying let the scientists speak up, not big pharma, because who stands to make the most money out of this? Because follow the money, right? If I'm a detective and a bank gets robbed, I'm going to look for the money.
Right.
So I'm going to start looking for where bad guys will spend money at. Except this is the reverse. Who's going to benefit from something like this and who isn't? Big pharma.
Big pharma all day.
Now, is there anything wrong in making money in America? That's what we do for a capitalist society. There is nothing wrong, and especially if you are a saint and good enough to create the very first vaccine that we know of a virus, hey, awesome. It is 2020. It's time to start stopping viruses from killing us. But Operation Warp Speed and some of these trials that were suspended, meaning stopped because patients were dying, and they had to take a look at it, find out why. They still don't have all the information. And Dr. Fauci, the expert supposedly, who preaches data, well, the data's not in yet. So how in the hell are they going to push a vaccine on people other than it might work? Well, might work isn't good enough for me. Is it good enough for you?
No.
No.
I mean,
that'd be like Shocker coming in and hooking electricity up to your house and say, "Hey, it might work."
And now listen. This is 3 idiots' opinion. I'm just going to call us idiots because we're going to be called that quite often on these shows. I get it. There's no winning in society. You know this. But what I'm saying is, I would say 70% of America is saying F you and twice on Sunday that we were going to take this vaccine. I think I got the pulse going on because I get enough DMs in my messaging to hear it. And it doesn't mean that we're anti-patriotic or we want to see our aunt and uncle or grandmother die from this. We're just saying, hold on. How come all the other things? Hell, remember the chicken pox? What would they do when we were kids when we got chicken pox, Tank?
Cover
They
our
called them
hands. Huh?
No, they'd have chicken pox parties. They put us all together. You don't remember?
No, we didn't do that because there was only so many people we could fit in the car that I lived in.
Yeah, that's true. But in our generation, they would throw us all together and get us all one time. Now, hopefully, what they're preying on is this virus gets weaker as it goes. There's been zero evidence stating otherwise. The treatment protocols, like the Math Plus, that I'm going to send to you, Tank. You need to get it to your mother-in-law stat. You need to be an advocate. This is the number one thing people ask me. Dan, what can I do? Advocate for your health. If you are a COVID-19 positive patient, that means you have a virus running through your body. You do not go home and take Tylenol and write it out. You demand the Math Plus protocol stat. You need everything you got to make sure that your immune system has the backup. It's just like calling a backup, Tank. Hey, there's a riot going on at a bar. There's possibly 50 suspects. What are you going to do? You going to go in by yourself?
I'm going to go to work at Lowe's. No, no. And let me tell you that there was a time on this job that I was probably, I don't know, 3 days on the road by myself, and we got one of those calls. We had a bar fight, and I went in by myself without waiting, and they got the living shit kicked out of me. I got my gun taken away from me, and I remember the guy standing over top of me, squeezing the trigger. But I was so new on the job, I never locked and loaded before my shift. I just kept a full magazine because I would always think in my head that I would resort to the whole TV TJ Hooker, thing where you lock and load before you shoot, and but that's an ass kicking I will never forget.
And most people,
it's never happened since.
And so experience will tell you if you're dealing with a pandemic virus and you're COVID positive, don't let them bully you around. Don't let them misinform you. You insist on the Math Plus protocol. It is the most up-to-date. It is the most aggressive treatment, and it's not going to hurt you. Not getting treatment will. Ignoring the first 5 to 7 days when you can get this thing early on from keeping it getting through your ACE2 receptors, going through your entire bloodstream, hitting all your good vital organs and causing microthrombosis is what you're trying to avoid. So on that note, on this beautiful, happy night we just went through, Shocker, I will be talking to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Tank, good luck to you on tomorrow. We'll be praying for you. I don't know how much weight that holds right now, but I'll definitely pray for you.
That holds a lot of weight. And I'm surrounded by white and black and purple and white. And knowing at the end of all this, how much black and white on one side and purple and white on the other is, and the purple and white I refer to as the guardian bells.
Hey, and I learned that they're tougher than you guys are Saturday. I seen that.
Oh,
they're badasses.
They don't take any shit.
Especially from you guys. I love it. They give it to you too. Hey, smack him on the head, by the way, if she's there. Just give him
I got headphones on, so she can't hear you.
See, they've been secretly drinking when we're out drinking, so we think they can't keep up, and then all of a sudden they're putting us under the table.
Hey, let me tell you, my wife served 12 years in the military and did a tour during Desert Shield and Desert Storm.
Yep.
And I seen her drink a lot of people under the table in my lifetime. She don't drink as much anymore. She'll have an occasional drink, but there's no doubt in my mind, with or without alcohol, the women that stand behind us to catch us because they know we're going to fall over at some point.
Oh, and I remember. Go ahead.
Fine. None of them are fragile either.
No.
I had to meet one single wife in anywhere of this club that's a bell or a protective by, not be able to hold her own at any time.
No kidding.
Well,
No kidding.
this is why we got Mom Squad, because I've known this for a long time. Women run the country. If the way the women go, yeah, you look around. But I seen you guys talk that bullshit, and then Saturday I watched them straighten you guys out real quick. One of them's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Hurricane Charlie's," and he's like, "F no, I'm not going to Hurricane Charlie's." Hey, and Bull said that, and then 5 minutes later, the guy comes back out and says, "No, you're going to Hurricane Charlie's," and I seen him throw a fit and get up, and he was ready to go. So I know the power you women have behind these guys. Don't put up with their bullshit. Hey, smack him on the head for me. Just give him a little pop. Yeah, there you go. Now a little harder. That's too nice. You gotta go, one of those. But in all reality, I love you guys, and the women are more important to me and supporting these organizations because they're the ones that deal with the most bullshit. They deal with us. They deal with the kids. They deal with working. All the other crap that goes on. And it reminded me of Sam Childers in that movie where she gave him hell. Because I seen that Saturday. Not only I see them give you hell, but I seen them throw back more shots in 5 minutes than I seen the guys drinking all day. And I'm like, it's about time for me to go.
I'm not a biker, but I'm going to play one on TV. But I sincerely hope that Sam, if you're listening, but I will tell you that, with Ink being back there, after Shocker's accident and seeing him try to get away with some of the shit that he did, that woman ain't taking no shit.
No, I think it was. I was constantly trying to walk around without crutches, and I'm a guy. I'm stubborn. I don't need the crutches. I'm good. I'd hobble around. I'd get home, and then she'd see the pain I'm in, and I would just hold it in. And she's like, "You're hurting." I'm like, "Just another day."
Yeah.
Well, and listen, we got to get some of the ladies on. You're more than what they listen. You're more than welcome to come on the after show. I definitely support what you do because we know who runs the pants in the family, who wears them, and who keeps them going. And I have no problem with that because if it wasn't for you, let's take your generation out of this. Let's go to my grandmother's generation during World War II when the men were off fighting. Who was the badasses on the line making the shit to fight for? It was the women. It was our grandmothers. And my grandmother passed early, but she left a very long-lasting memory on who she was, and she was a badass motherfucker.
Her dash should be about that long.
And I salute all of you women. Seriously, I had fun that you allowed me to take a couple pictures, that you allowed me to hang out with your husbands, and just you all are beautiful to me.
We have our women just aren't housewives, or mothers. We have women that are nurses. We have women that are in school, continuing their, education. We have women that are teachers. We have women that work in jails, and on top of all that, they come home and put up with our shit.
Yes, exhausting at times.
Right?
Now, do you know we have a female group called Bomb Squad?
No.
Okay, we just started it. Melanie Kopko, the VP of our charity, is the host of the event. Men aren't allowed in, so I don't really know what the hell's going on. And I'm a producer, and I have no idea what's going on. But I know it's good, all good. And I would like to have a group of you on our live after show after the first one airs, and to get some of your stories and your perspectives, because I respect both clubs, and we need to hear from more patriots, more American men and women that are going through COVID-19. And please join the Mom Squad H4H group. Invite the bells in. We got some giveaways that are going on inside of there. And Shocker, will you please? Do you have Melanie Kopko on our Facebook page as a friend?
I don't know. I might. I'm gonna have to look it up just to make sure.
Just go on my Facebook and it's on there.
I'll definitely check it out. I'll tell you, like, my biggest job is being a mom and a teacher. So I mom those kids every day. I mom this one every day. But
they're a mom to a soldier or a military service member. So
Yeah, I got my Air Force, our son, and I got my son-in-law in the Army, and so yeah, we're definitely
4 grandkids, 1 more on the way, so I have 5 grandkids.
Jesus Christ, man. How old are you again?
too young to be taking over the world, that's for sure.
So I got pop pops. 2 pop
Yes.
pops.
Yes.
Yeah, and her and I've been together, well, known each other since elementary school.
Yeah.
And so he's always been, a wily guy, or is he mellowed over the years?
Well, she was in elementary school. He was just graduating.
Oh boy, let's not start here. All right. So listen, we're have him give you the Mel's link, friend request her, and Mel will reach out to you and get you into the mom squad, because I'm sure you all will have a lot in common. Okay. And the podcast is not about us; it's about women. It's about moms going through COVID. How are you dealing with the teaching side, all that stuff? It's all helping. That's all we want to do. And it's sponsored by Hope for Humanity. So please share it within the groups. I think there's like 200 and something in the one right now. We need to boost those numbers up. We're going to create the guy squad like we did the other night, where, we get, 8, 9, 10 guys together on a night and we go over stuff, and we'll eventually get to a podcast portion of that. But we'll do live shows, Mom Squad Mondays, that kind of stuff. And when you're doing events and charities, we'll definitely use the platform of Hope for Humanity to help share. Ideally, what we want to do is open up a charity in downtown Fort Myers so we can help other charities work together and help it grow. So that's what Melody's been working on for the last 3 months for the charity, is getting that location and getting the funding in place so it can exist and happen. And then we can work with any of the chapters, any of the clubs, any of the battered women shelters. Like, the whole thing is just to help. That's all it is. So thank you for letting this guy on tonight. And, because it's your time. Family time's important. Yes. Same thing for Tank. Tank.
I didn't need permission because I'm in charge at my house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whisper that real quiet.
Let me tell you.
But
so listen, we had a good time on this. We weren't really, it wasn't so much of a show tonight. It was more just some guys letting some stuff out. Thank you everybody for joining us. We've been on this for a while, and I'm tired. I know Tank's been tired, but I hope you had some good laughs, Tank. At Shocker, yeah. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Definitely.
And God bless everyone.
It's always good to see Shocker. Man, I love you, dude.
Love you too, bro. Tomorrow's a good day.
It's a good day. And Amy will be in. Donna will get in touch with Ink and let her know updates. And of course, Dan, she has. Well, I'll be able to call you Dan because I'm not expecting to go under the knife tomorrow, but so I'll be able to let everybody know what the updates are.
So do we get the autograph picture now or later with Mr. Poss?
I want one now.
I told him that original picture that we all took, I want to get it printed and signed.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
And I said, I'm sure the guys would probably put it in one of their clubhouses, and as we were talking about the calendar, now do you understand the importance of that calendar to me?
Yeah, Shocker, did you hear about the news about Robert?
No.
He got the job today. He's the senior staff photographer for Maxim Magazine now.
Okay.
So
that'll raise your eyebrows, won't it? And so what we want to do is do a calendar for you guys. Shoot your clubhouses, your bikes, and create a 2021 Punishers calendar, the Four Kings, or whatever you officially call it. And that way you can have something for your guys to get and also raise some money for your charities. Right?
Let's do it. Next week, let's do it.
Well, I don't know if I can make it that fast.
Tank knows I don't
Shocker.
Like I got done in what a couple of days in a 2-3 days. He said one day, hey, it'd be cool to have a Punisher sleeve. 4 hours later, I'm taking a photo saying, "Is this what you mean?" And I had it made. I don't wait.
And you know what? I still don't have a shirt. I'm hurting right now. I'm sweating. I'm going, hey, I know I'm not an official, I don't have to cut. But as an ambassador, I think I should get some swag here soon.
We'll make sure that you get a SoFlo and a Cape Fear support shirt for sure.
Yeah.
If you think by the Flea Masters on Friday, pick your tees at the flea masters. The guy there is Andy. He does all my shirts. I'll have you one made.
Because I got to have something to rep you guys in the show. You know what I mean? Like, I got to show my love for my brothers. Let's get off here, guys. I know, this is more for us than anybody else. They're like, these guys are babbling now. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm getting
Babbling's fine.
hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Tank, thank you, guys. Shocker, I'll talk to you in the morning. Thank you for any support and help you can get. And, guys, thank you for listening to a couple knuckleheads tonight talk about a bunch of stuff. But hopefully, at the end of the day, Hope for Humanity 2020, hope number 4, humanity2020.com is where you can go make a donation for our charity. If you want to go to Punishers, you can go to more. Tank, you give it out there.
Yeah, you can go to callyourpunishers.org and reach out to us. And if you want to reach out to the Cape Fear chapter, Shockers chapter, they have some things being set up, and I just tell my phone to email Shocker so he can give that email address out to reach out to them.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shocker.
Punishers Cape Fear at gmail.com.
Now, when we do these shows, this isn't Facebook Live. This is actually a broadcast, and it's going out to all of our social media. So it's going on YouTube. It's going on all the YouTube channels. So understand that when we're asking for this information, people from all over the world are going to be hearing this. So I really want to get a movement going on helping all the chapters grow, keep people up to date on upcoming events. Your Thanksgiving family hunting, I heard, had a really good thing today. You said you found a family of 10.
Yep.
Are you able to talk about any of that? I'm not asking.
Yeah. The family was brought to my attention by my sister, actually. And this woman that my sister knows, her sister died last week at 40 years old. And she left behind 2 children. So this woman, I won't mention her name, but I come to find out that she's caring for her 2 elderly parents. She's now caring for her niece and nephew, plus her own 3 children, and is a single working mother. And when my sister told her what the Punishers are doing for Thanksgiving, and I make sure that it's not what SoFlo is doing. It's the Punishers. It's a white and black thing. It all says Punishers on our back, in big black and white logo. And this woman broke down at work crying, and so my sister had to call me. She told me her story, and I told her by Monday she will have groceries and she will have a Thanksgiving.
Now, we have the Ale House stepping in, right? They're helping out.
We're going to take her shopping because they have a lot of dietary issues with her parents, and they have some health concerns with them. But talking to Derek today, I text him, and
Derek Newborn.
Yep, Derek Newborn, and Derek's gonna make sure that that family's taken care of, and he'll be making his donation through the Punishers, and we'll be setting that up. And it's not what Derek's looking for, but it is a tax-free. We are tax exempt and nonprofit, so it's a tax deduction to donate to us, and anything that comes to us is certainly put out there. And just as Cape Fear will be getting their nonprofit status here soon, we'll be able to reach so many more people as a stronger brotherhood. So
are we still looking for restaurants to step up, donations? We're still got a goal to hit, right?
Yeah, because I look at it this way. If we get more food than we need, we've got food banks and things like that we can give it to. But I'd rather have more food than more families that we can feed. Because if you have more families than you can handle, then you're leaving somebody hungry, and that's not our goal. our goal is to make sure that people are able to celebrate a holiday and not worry about, anything. And we're giving them the option, if there's a dietary or religious concern as far as their food goes, we're giving them the option to take care of their grocery bill up to a certain amount.
If I am a business, if I'm an individual and I want to make a donation, where do I go?
You go to PayPal and you can just type in the word treasurer at collierpunishers.org, and it'll bring our account up, and you can make a donation through there. It'll come directly to us. You print a receipt out for your records, and that'll act as your receipt for your taxes when you claim that you donated to a nonprofit organization. And I'm sure Shocker's probably in the hard work setting it up, because nothing waits until tomorrow with this guy.
Oh yeah.
So,
got to get it done. And
that's right.
we got holidays coming up, and right now the way we feel about a lot of things is, I would not want to drive down the street and see a person holding up a sign saying we'll work for food. It's just, you can go almost for a couple bucks, buy a sandwich and say, here, you probably just changed that person's day. And then next thing you know, that person is, helping another person, and it just has that pay it forward aspects with it. Just like that.
So we still got a goal to hit. You can still donate. You can also go to Collier Punishers Facebook page. You got a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, just go to Facebook, facebook.com/Collier Punishers, and it'll come up, or you can just search Punishers LEMC Collier County. It'll come up. Collier Punishers on Instagram, and we'll show up.
Now, this, you're based in the Collier County chapter, but I got the Cape Fear is a Cape Fear, Cape Fear president too. So it isn't just a one Cape Fear Punishers. I like it. It isn't just a one trick pony. Like, you guys are global. You have multi chapters. I think you have over 20 chapters in the state of Florida.
Yep.
Every one of you guys are gifting orientated, are helping families. So help our brothers out. If you're a restaurant, you're mom and pop, and you want to do something, make a donation. Come on, guys. This is the easiest thing you can ever do. These guys will do all the hard work. All you got to do is make that donation, that tax credit that you'll get, and you're going to help a family during these times get a little bit of food in their belly, and hopefully not have to suffer, but celebrate what the holidays are about, thanks to these guys. On that note, go ahead.
Real quick, Dan. If anybody goes to Facebook and they're concerned about donating in the areas that they live in, if they type in Punishers LEMC followed by the state that they live in, they'll get all the chapters in that state that'll come up. Or I'll add whatever country they live in, because we're well established in multiple countries. Brazil, Belgium, Germany, Italy, Brazil. And the list goes on. So,
and it isn't. Let me just put this out there: the Punishers who I met, which is you guys, but there are motorcycle clubs across the planet that all have the same goal during the holidays. Period. End of story. Toys for Tots, Thanksgiving. That's what you guys live for. You live for this shit. Like, I'm trying to think of that name, Apocalypse Now. He goes, I love to smell napalm in the morning. Like, this is what you guys live for, the holidays. And the smiles you put on people's faces, the food you're going to be putting in their belly is important. Noodles, I called you out in Naples. I reached out to you, Mr. Berman, so I appreciate if you reach back out to me. There's some chefs I know. Harold, I know you love helping. 1025, I know you guys like to help the community. It's an endless amount of restaurants I do know. All I just need to do is know a target and a date and a time and what we can do, and I'll keep pushing for that. Guys, I got to wrap it up because I'm about to pass out for my treatment. I know you got a long day. Shocker, I look forward to talking in the morning. Let's say some prayers for everybody, and bless you guys during these holidays. Everyone stay safe. If you get COVID, it's not the end of the world. Math Plus Protocol. Google Math Plus Protocol. You're going to save a life. Early treatment's best for this. Best offense for this is a good defense. D3 up. Vitamin D3, zinc are the 2 number 1 things to help you get through these times. We love you guys. Tank, good luck tomorrow. You know God's got us. Shocker. God hopefully gets me too. And hopefully we can use some of that shocker magic tomorrow. Thank you guys. Love you.
God.
I love you.